Good morning, my lovely friends. Time for coffee. Thanks for coming by. Want to welcome all my new subs. If you're new to my channel, leave us a comment below and say hello. Um, anyway, today I wanted to talk a little bit about another scrappy dish. So anyway, I went to down the street. There's a lady that rescues animals, and a couple summers ago, when we were looking out the window, we live on a cul-de-sac. We looked outside and there's a baby bull, yes, bull, running down the street. Anyway, um, the bull belongs to this lady, and she rescues chickens, she has goats, she has ducks. She has this baby bull. Well, he's good size now from what I hear. I haven't seen him. But anyway, some of the properties where I live, not right in the development, but along some of the streets, are still a little bit uh, rural, so you can have animals. So anyway, it's really cool that she does that. She has two basset hounds, but anyway, um, she sells eggs, and I like to buy eggs that aren't factory farmed because of the cruelty issues. So, but I'm not going to get into a soapbox thing here. So anyway, I bought 2 dozen eggs from her, and they're all different shapes and sizes and colors because she has all different kinds of chickens, and she does not eat her chickens. Like I said, she rescues animals. So from my $50, I'm still maintaining that $50 challenge, and today is the 13th of October, so a little bit over half a month to go. And so far, I've spent $5 on 2 dozen eggs because I figured that will get me through the rest of the month and probably the beginning of next month. So far, I have left $41.14. So I think that's pretty good. Um, Another thing that I've done, I ran out of my chocolate creamer for my milk. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Anyway, what I did was I still had a bottle of vanilla, and I like the Walmart brand. I mean, it's just as good as the Hershey's International uh, Delights creamer. And I had half a bottle of the French vanilla left. So what I did, I added chocolate syrup to it, and I tried it this morning, and it tastes just as good. So I have 1 bottle left of the French vanilla, so I'm going to divide the full bottle in half because there's only a little bit left of, I wanted to try it first, and there's only a little bit left of the chocolate that I just made. So, and since I have my daughter working here from home, sometimes she likes the French vanilla. I like it, but it's like I said, the chocolate is my favorite. So that last bottle of full bottle of French vanilla creamer, I will divide in half and do half chocolate with syrup, and the other half I'll leave vanilla, and that will get me through the end of the month. But I wanted to show you my eggs. It's not very exciting, but this is a huge egg, and one of her chickens lays eggs that are just humongous. I feel bad for that chicken. But anyway, um, and they're all different colors. And this one is a blue one. She has the one that lays blue eggs. I know it doesn't look that blue. And then we have brown, different shades of brown and a couple of white in there as well. So anyway, that was $5 well spent because you can do a lot of things with eggs. I know vegans, my vegan friends on here, I know you don't eat eggs, so they substitute tofu instead, or egg replacer. But the only two things that I don't do vegan, so I can't call myself a vegan, are I eat eggs and occasionally dairy cheese. I mean, if I go to a party and somebody's serving dairy cheese and they don't have nut cheese, I will eat that. Or in a restaurant, I'll have some there. But I don't buy uh, much in the way of cheese other than, my grandson lives here and he is not vegetarian or vegan, so I buy him a little bit just for things that I make for him. So anyway, I'm going to quit blabbing here. I'm going to make another dish. I look through my refrigerator and freezer for bits and bobbles, and I have enough to make a meal probably for at least 3 days. So I will come back in a little while and I'll show you the ingredients I gathered, and then I will get to it with the cooking. Hi guys. Well, I'm going to have to make some more leftover dinner tonight, so I scrounged around in my fridge and in my freezer, and this is what I found. All right, so first of all, I have these beautiful tomatoes that are going to go bad. They're getting soft. I have this chickpea burger, ready-made, that I really didn't care for as a burger. So I'm going to try and put some breading, stick it in the air fryer, and put some of this provolone cheese on it and make it into like a Parmesan kind of dish. I have olives. This is a big, huge olive. I think I got this at Costco. That I want to use some of that up. I use these on pizzas and wherever I like the olive taste. I use it for making vegan cheeses. So I want to use up a few of those. I've got some Pinot Noir red wine that I'm going to put in my sauce. And I've got these spinach mozzarella little things, and I only have a few left, and they were starting to get frost, so I pulled those out, and I got those at Costco. They're actually very good, but I want to use all these things and make a dish. I still have a little bit of this forager half and half. It's cashew milk. It's like a cream. I have a partially used mushroom regano pasta sauce, and I have some pizza seasoning because I want to combine these into a sauce. So that's what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. I'm going to make it in the pasta into like a little casserole because I want to use the tomatoes to top it off, and then I'll use some tomatoes also on the burger. So we'll see how it turns out later, and I'll be back when I put this all together. Okay, let's begin. All right, so I took my raviolis and they're still frozen, but I'm going to leave this sit because it's just like 11 in the morning, so I want it to kind of soak into the pasta, and then I'm going to bake this later, but I just arranged it in a little pan here. Now I'm going to mix up my sauce. So first of all, I'm going to start with this is about 3/4 full. So I'm going to empty that. And let me bring you just a little bit closer. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't fall over. All right, and then I'm going to take my plant milk, my half and half. It's cashew milk and coconut cream. And I'm going to pour that in here so I can get all the goodies out of here. So, and before I shake it up, I'm going to put some pizza seasoning in here because the milk is going to, I'm going to start off with maybe half a teaspoon, and I might need more. Like I said, I go according to taste. All right. So there we have that. And I may even add some more milk with this, I'm not sure. Like I said, I want to taste it. And then I'm going to put some red wine in here. So if you have leftover red wine, cook with it. You don't have to take cooking wine. So I'm going to give it a good squirt, because why not? All right. Now I'm going to whisk this up. Get my handy dandy whisk here. And I'm going to give that a taste. Pretty good. I think you could use a little bit more milk, just a little bit, and I'm going to put a little more pizza seasoning in, so I have to get the milk. So hang on a minute. So what I have today is a little bit of walnut milk. So I'm not going to use too much. I just want to thin this out a little bit. So maybe a quarter of a cup, a third of a cup. I'm going to give that a mix. And I would say probably a teaspoon of the pizza seasoning. So I already added half. I'm going to add the other half. So there's another half of a teaspoon. And I'm also going to add a little more wine. So this is how I cook. I look and see what I have available, and I formulate a meal in my head and gather the basic ingredients, and then I just start my alchemy. So let me taste this again. Make sure it's seasoned enough. I want some pepper in here too. Some pepper. Now if you like a little bit of heat, you could also add some red pepper flakes, but it's not my favorite thing, so I'm not going to do that, but you definitely could do that. Now a lot of this is going to soak into my pasta, just like lasagna. A little bit more pizza seasoning. And I think I'm also going to add some Italian seasoning. Now if you have garlic, you can brown a little garlic too. I don't want to chop it up now. So I'm going to add granulated garlic and about a teaspoon of that, because I want it very garlicky, because I like garlic. And I'm going to add, this is about a teaspoon, so I'll add most of the Italian seasoning. That should be good. And I want to add some onion powder can't go wrong adding onion powder and garlic powder to almost everything. So a little onion powder, and I'm going to call that good. Try it. Taste again. That's good. This is the first time I've tried the walnut milk. I guess it's fine. And you really can't taste the wine too much in there. All right. I'm going to set this aside for a minute. I have some chopped up olives that I'm going to top this with, and here's my patty. It's still thawing, so I'll come back later and do that because I'm going to make like a Parmesan out of that. So let me get a serrated knife. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I want to do with my pasta is I'm going to chop up, not chop up, but slice up a couple of these tomatoes. And these tomatoes, they're those Capomo tomatoes. Sometimes I take these and last spring, I put some of these in the garden. I just rooted them from some of the seeds from the actual store-bought tomatoes, and it turned out great. So I'm going to put one more tomato, and then I'm going to save the other one for my Parmesan there. And I think it'll be tasty. I like these small tomatoes because once I cut into a tomato, the taste changes. So I love these for salads. So I like to buy this size because they're just enough. Or if I have avocado toast in the morning, they're just the right size for that too, for one person. So that's what I'm going to do with this. And that's what it looks like. And I'm going to add a little garlic salt over the tomatoes. Let me put this up here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So just on the tomatoes, a little garlic salt. And the tomatoes will thin down the pasta sauce too. So, and then a little pepper, because they'll let off a lot of water as they cook. And the thing is, these pastas are not cooked, so when I bake them, they're going to bake in the sauce. So now all I'm going to do is pour this sauce all over the pasta, and use your judgment as to how much. I'm going to use it all. Now, I don't think I need any more cheese. Excuse me. I'll have to see later. After I bake this, I might put a little layer of cheese on top. But the raviolis have cheese. And then I'm just going to top that with the olives. And these are just, there's a few black, and they're in brine. I love olives. These olives make a good appetizer if you heat them up too and serve them with a good crusty bread. But anyway, there we go. And I'm going to let that sit until I get back a little later this afternoon. And then when I get back, I'll make the patty. All right, see you in a little bit.
I am back. Going to work on my Parmesan cutlet. All right, so this is the chickpea hamburger or burger that I really didn't like too much. It was pretty thick, and so what I did was I just made it into a thinner oval. So I'm going to season that a little bit with some pizza seasoning again. And here I have some Italian panko breadcrumbs, and this is just Walmart brand. I've had these for quite a while, and they're Italian. So I have a plate with those. I have a plate with some flour and some more walnut milk. And then I have some Follow Your Heart Parmesan cheese. It's a vegan cheese. And this cheese is very good. I like the Follow Your Heart cheeses. Those are actually my favorite. But use whatever you have. If you have dairy cheese, use dairy, and you know, whatever your thing is. All right, so I'm going to take this, and I probably should have frozen this a little bit. I don't know how this is going to work with the milk. So actually, I think I'm going to skip the milk because it's pretty soft. So I'm just going to put that to the side, and I'm going to put it in the flour. And if you have a burger that's kind of soft, then freeze it for a little bit. But I want to get this in the oven, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm just going to use a spatula to turn it and flour the other side. All right, there we go. And I think what I'm going to do maybe is just get some of this flour off so it's not too thick. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let me bring you closer. Okay, so I just want to make sure all this has some flour on it, but not too much. You know, you just want to coat it a little bit. And then since I don't, be right back. So since this is really soft, what I'm going to do, instead of dipping it in the milk, I'm just going to take some of this milk with a spoon, and I'm going to just kind of spread it out over the flour, because I'm afraid it's going to fall apart, because it's pretty soft. That was one of the things I did not like about this chickpea burger, and it was a pre-made one that I got from Heinen's actually. But if you like chickpea burgers, fine, but this one just didn't float my boat. So anyway, I'm just going to coat that a little bit with milk, and then I'm going to put that right away into the panko. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. So I just have it, the flour side up, and I'm going to put a little bit of the milk in. So, you know, if you ever have a burger or something that's too soft and you don't have time to freeze it, you could give this a try. I don't know, I'm winging it here. So what else is new, right? I'm always winging my cooking. Okay. So, Lizzie, we have kids running around the neighborhood and they're driving the dogs crazy. Okay, so there you go. And I'm going to take this with my spatula, and I'm going to turn it over to the other side. So that seemed to have worked pretty well. And I'm going to push these crumbs into my little patty here. I'm going to take a few more. And there we go. Now I'm going to put this in my air fryer because I'd like it to be crispy. And I just want to make sure it's coated all around. You can even make it a little thinner at this point if you want. But I'm going to try this at 375 for maybe 15-20 minutes. I'm not sure. And that's another thing I do. I kind of bake by the seat of my pants when it comes to things like this. So I just keep checking it. So that looks good. Shape it into a nice patty. And if you are not vegan or vegetarian, any ground meat that you have, you could do this with too. You could do it with ground turkey, ground chicken, ground pork, ground beef, whatever your thing is, and use what you have, right? Because that's what we do here at Ellen's Abundant Life on Less. Okay, there we have it. Going to pop that in the air fryer, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so I'm back, and this is what my little cutlet looks like. But I want to put some tomatoes and some cheese on here, and then I bake this at 380 for 15 minutes, turned it over, and baked it at 400 for 12 minutes. So it's nice and crunchy. So I'm going to put some, all I have is provolone cheese here. I don't have mozzarella. So I'm going to put, actually first, I'm going to put these tomatoes on. So this is just a little tomato. And hang on, I'll do this so that you can see. Okay. All right, there, now you can see that. Very good. All right, so I have some sliced tomatoes that I'm going to put on here. And I took the inside out because I don't want to make this soggy. So the tomato itself has enough moisture in it. So I'm going to put that on. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this vegan Parmesan cheese on here. There we go. Oh, that looks really good. I hope it tastes as good as it looks. And then I'm going to put my slice of provolone cheese on here. So there we go. I like it cheesy. There we go. Now I'm going to stick this back into the oven, and just until the cheese is melted, because this is already done. So I'll be back, and I already have my pasta in the oven as well. So I'll be back when I get everything plated up. All right, it's done. So this is the little cutlet. Looks really good. And here is my ravioli. And what I ended up doing, I had some of the breadcrumbs left over on the plate from breading this, and I didn't want to waste them. So I mixed them with a little bit of the vegan Parmesan cheese and just sprinkled it over the top. And I baked it for, about 45 minutes. The crumbs I put on there, I'd say the last 10, and I baked that at 375. So I'm going to plate this up, and I'll show you what I'm going to have for dinner. So here it is. Here's my dinner. I'm having a glass of Roscato. I don't know if you can get this in your area, but if you like a sweet Moscato red, this is really good. And it's by Italia. And this is one of my favorite wines. So I'm having a glass of that. This is my pasta and my little cutlet. And I'm just having a little salad on the side with some of those olives, some pepitas, some kale, and some of the bagged lettuce I bought. So there it is, folks. I'm going to sit and enjoy this now. Use up what you have. So I'm here in my dining room because this is such a good meal that it deserves to have a dining room. So I'm having my Roscato. So good. It's really sweet, but I can't have a wine that's too sweet. So I'm going to try a little bite of my little patty. Hopefully it's good. Looks good. Doesn't seem mushy. So let's see. That was a big bite. Oh. Seriously delicious. Really good. And I didn't like it much before. So if you don't like some of your food that you buy, add some other flavors to it. Try making it the way you want. Oh, hello. You're not invited to dinner. I'm sorry. All right, let me try the raviolis. Here's the raviolis with the olives on top and the panko and the Parmesan. This meal is so good. I really outdid myself. All right, my friends. I'll say my goodbyes now. I gotta eat this.
All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.